Well, God, this was devastating, man. So today I'm going to be talking about Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 12, Water Walks. This is the penultimate episode of Better Call Saul, and yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for next week. I'm such a huge fan of the show, and I, I just really sad to see it go, even though it's so well written. So after a couple week break, we finally see what Kim's been up to. And I was like, are we ever gonna see her again, or are we not gonna see her again? But looks like we did see her again, and it was tragic, you know, uh, because the whole time when she was in Better Call Saul, living in Albuquerque, she was so strong-willed, confident. But now we've seen her reduced to like the shell of a woman in a way. She's like a normal, boring housewife, which I feel like is something she's never wanted. And she's like talking about mayonnaise versus Miracle Whip, and or new husbands like treating it with the same amount of like urgency that her and Jimmy talked about all the crazy shit they did. Also, Kim has a new husband, which is kind of sad because I was hoping she'd get back together with Jimmy, but I feel like it's kind of late for that. And that phone call she had with Jimmy was just so tragic, but also really kind of good because it shows both sides. She's like, you should turn yourself in, and Gene was like, well, you've done a lot of crazy shit too, and you never turned yourself in. Was kind of prompts her to confess to Howard's wife. Scene which is very, very well acted by both actresses. You could tell that Kim's been bottling this up for years at this point, and she feels really bad about it, but it's also kind of nice to get it off her chest, but also devastating because of Howard's wife, how she takes it. And that scene on the bus ride, that was so good, like just really sad, because you could see her like trying to keep it together. And after all 6 seasons, the rate finally crosses her, and she starts sobbing. Very powerful scene. Rhea Seehorn did fantastic with that, and if that doesn't win her an Emmy, then nothing will, because she was fantastic in that scene. It was just really like, you really feel for her, because even though she's done some shitty things, she's not that good of a person. As with most people in the Breaking Bad universe, Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould make you really emphasize with them, and you want them to succeed, and you want them to be better people. And I think Kim actually is trying to be a better person, while Jimmy, Saul kind of becomes worse. Speaking on the Saul stuff, I think he fell victim to his own hubris. He thought he could get away with anything. But I think he's gotten to the point where it's like he kind of wanted to be caught after that Kim phone call. But he's not the type to turn himself in. He just wanted to go see how far as he could go before he actually gets caught. And I thought that was really interesting. That scene where like he's stealing from that guy was really intense. Like, at first I thought he was gonna hit him with the dog's ashes, but he finds a way not to. See, the thing about Jimmy is he doesn't really want to hurt anybody. I don't really think he's actually like injured anybody that badly in the show, as far as I can remember. He just thinks of it as like a complete last resort. Which puts him different from Walt, who literally poisoned a child. And then like the scene where Jeff the cab driver, was able to distract the police by pretending to be drunk, was hilarious. A little bit shocking, mostly hilarious. And of course the scene at the end with Carol Burnett, aka Marion, was super intense. At first I was like, okay, Saul's not gonna actually hurt her. I predicted she would figure it out. Carol Burnett ain't no dummy. I knew she was kind of like find out that he's not who he says he was. But first I was like, he's not gonna hurt her. And I was like, wait a minute, is he gonna hurt her? And then he didn't, so that was good. And the whole like life alert thing was kind of funny. So he's like, there's a criminal in my house, his name's Saul Goodman. That was great. And him going on the run in a very similar way that Walt went on the run in Granite Slate, the penultimate episode of Breaking Bad. You can kind of see a little bit of similarities there. They both end with him getting out of hiding. I also enjoyed the scene where Kim met Jesse, which is something I never thought would happen. I never thought he'd meet Jesse, but he does, and he's like, yo, like, is he like a good loyal? Like, is he the real thing? And she gives such a sad response. Like, when I knew him, that was tragic. That made me really sad. And of course, it's great to see Aaron Paul again, but I think he's aged a lot. Like, his voice is much more gravelly than it used to be. I mean, it makes sense because he's aged. You know, it's been a while. It's not 2009 anymore. So it definitely makes sense. So I'm willing to look past that. It's a little distracting, but you get used to it, you know? He's also doing really good in Westworld this season. If you guys haven't seen Westworld, he's really good in it now. But yeah, you could just see how Kim used to love Jimmy, and a part of her still does, but she just knows she can't be around him anymore, and that is tragic. That's so tragic when they were like signing the divorce papers and he was trying to act all tough. You could see inside he's really in pain. It was so good. Like, this episode is fantastic. Great penultimate episode. You know, if it sticks to landing, Better Call Saul is going to go down as one of the greatest shows of all time. For me, it's like at the same level as Breaking Bad. I think I might like it a little bit more because it's more like nuanced, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought of it down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time for my review of the finale, which, you know, I'm not ready for it. It's called Saul Done, which is hilarious. But yeah, I'll also be posting videos about Sherlock and Westworld, and that's about it. So, you know, subscribe below if you're interested in any of that. And until then, peace.